press play. Welcome back, Double Team.
Can you wait until I sit down? God. Okay.
Are you going to do it now?
No.
All right. Welcome back, Double Team fam. How are we doing today?
Wait, hold on
today's Turkey Day. Are people even going to listen? If you're here on Turkey Day, I commend you for...
Maybe you're listening on your way to your families.
Yeah, maybe you're listening on your way to your family's get-together, which just remember, you don't have to have a ring in order to make you interesting. You don't have to be dating anyone at all, you know?
You don't have to answer their questions that you don't want to answer.
You don't owe anybody an explanation. No is a full sentence.
No is a full sentence.
And so is yes. And fuck off. So just... Well, I know it's just because, like, the holidays can be such a tricky time because, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, your family can be pretty persistent, lacking boundaries. Exactly. And it's just like they like to push buttons or they like to ask questions. And it's like, you know, making you, like, overthink everything. Like, oh, my God, you know, it's like your Aunt Teresa. And they're like, oh, why aren't you dating anyone? You weren't dating anyone last year. And then you can be like, yeah, you know what? I'm hoeing around. I'm having fun.
And they're like, what does that mean? Anyways, this isn't a rant about what to do with your family on the holidays.
We already did that episode.
And it sucked.
So I hated that episode. Why did we do that episode? I think we were just...
Well, we were about to go and no, actually,
I can't remember.
I think we skipped family. But that was around the time that, like, you know... Mom and Dad found out about the pod and everything, and they weren't too thrilled. And anyways, I digress. But anyways,
so much. Anyways, yeah, if you want to listen to our opinions on how to dodge and or full send on responses with your fam,
no, let's not direct that.
You can listen to the episode; it's still up.
I'm not gonna.
Why not?
I actually don't.
Anyways.
Before we get started, I did want to share, I saw this poem and I shared it on our stories on Instagram, but I know not all of you are on Instagram, so I'm going to share it with you guys. Anyways, okay. So this is a spicy poem from the account Book by Hand, but the poem is by someone named, and I'm sorry if I absolutely butcher this, Rupi Kaur. Anyways, it's a very short poem. It goes, the very thought of you has my legs spread apart, like an easel with a canvas begging for art.
Oh, I love that. It reminds me of one of my favorite poems.
What favorite poem?
I like to have a martini, 2 at the very most. After 3, I'm under the table. After 4, I'm under the host.
Oh, I love that.
Actually, one of our friends from high school said that poem in a class in high school when we were all supposed to share a poem, and I'm pretty sure the teacher was not happy with that choice, but that poem stuck with me. It really did.
I really like this one because the very thought of you has my legs spread apart, like an easel with a canvas begging for art. And because, you know, like an easel, it's kind of spread apart.
I just want to talk about the other day. Nikki and I were on our way to the gym.
Oh, okay.
And
wait, where's this going?
One of her partners.
I was FaceTiming him and he didn't know he was on speaker.
Yeah. And
so I was like, what did I ask him?
What did you say? You're like, something like, oh, I think you were like, I'm looking forward to seeing you later. And he was like, I'm looking forward to those legs.
No, he said those thighs. And
I was like, God dang it.
Oh, please.
Okay, well, how did homie not know that I was in the freaking car? We were on our way to the gym, and I thought we had established that prior to, or at least prior in the conversation. So, but I guess he didn't know that I was there, and he said that, and I was like, I didn't need to hear that.
But come on now, we're all adults.
I know, it is still funny.
Anyways, actually, on the subject of poems, real quick, I do really love that poem. And I just discovered that the author's page on TikTok, so I'm going to go do a deep dive after we're done recording this. But My favorite poem of all time, Robert Frost.
Nature's first green is gold,
her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf's a flower,
but only so an hour.
Then leaf subsides to leaf,
So Aiden sank to grief.
So dawn goes down to day. Nothing gold can stay.
Nothing gold can stay, pony boy.
But
who knows that movie?
Honestly, I love that.
What was the name of that movie?
Outsiders.
Thank you.
Anyways, I love that poem because it always just reminds me to enjoy a fresh beginning, enjoy that first light, enjoy that first, ray of sunshine. Just, the beginning of something is often always so beautiful.
But also you can think about it like the beginning of the fall season is so nice. The crisp leaves, they're golden. Such a nice, warm, inviting colors. Pumpkin spice.
The beginning of a new day when there's like dew on the ground and the sun is shining on it.
Calming time.
Anyways, so yeah. This episode isn't about poems. Actually, this episode isn't about anything in particular.
Actually, yeah.
But I
was apologizing to our patrons the other day because I'm like, we've been resting.
Yeah, we have been resting.
And like in the wise words of Danny Santos, healing is boring.
Healing is boring.
Healing is boring.
But I honestly, I did, a friendly reminder as we go into the winter season. Because I feel like, in the winter you get like seasonal depression or like, it's cold out. You don't want to leave as often. Like hot girl summer has came and left. Maybe it's cuffing season and you need whoever you were messing around with in the summer, maybe y'all are getting a little bit more serious. Anyways, yeah, you want someone to cuddle with when it's nice and cold, all those things. But sometimes, actually, I don't know if our libido changes in the winter, but I do feel like my libido changes in the winter. Granted.
A little bit.
Granted, last winter was like the beginning of my divorce. So, of course, my libido was like meh, even though I was having phenomenal sex with Avocado Farmer at that time. But,
great memory.
The last month or so, I would say that like my libido has been like non-existent. Not to say that I haven't been having sex at all, because I have. But I did, one of my partners and I broke up. No, it's not Calvin. No, it's not the new one. It's my partner that I've been seeing since the very beginning of this year. And so that's been kind of saddening. I knew it was coming. It's one of those things where it's like we both knew like that time was coming, but it still makes it hard. And it's still hard even if you do have other partners, because you're still like, that's someone that I cared about. It was its own relationship. It was its own thing. Like I'm going to miss, him and I used to just watch Disney movies and and have sex together. And that was like almost the entirety of our relationship. And that was incredibly healing, believe it or not. And very comforting. So I'm gonna miss that. But so I think that's one of the reasons. I don't know the others. I need to do a deep dive. But yeah, my libido's just been a little low. And that's okay.
Same.
It's not one of those things where I'm like sitting here like, oh my God, why am I not horny? I'm usually so sexual. Why am I not on Bumble trying to find dudes to fuck all the time? Or girls, but I think, like recently, I remember I scheduled a threesome and then it ended up not working out. And I was like relieved that it didn't work out, because I was just kind of like, I didn't really want to, But it was with a couple that I played with before and I really liked them. So I was excited, but at the same time I was like not excited, if that makes sense. Like I wanted to, my mind wanted to I think, but my body was like, we're not into it. And sometimes there's like that disparity, like between your mind and your body. So like, I think my mind understands that right now my body's just not like craving sex. And so then my mind's like, well, we're just not going to go there.
And I think that's fine. What's the saying? The lower the temperature, the closer to God. Something like that.
What?
I don't know. But like, the correlation of like the colder it is, like the more closed your legs are, because
Oh,
I don't want to let that wind in.
I've never heard that. Okay. But I will say, like, you know,
maybe I'm thinking of like the higher the hair.
Yeah, the closer to, yeah, that was a quote by Dolly Parton. Okay. Not in relation to the weather. But yeah, the other day I was with one of my partners though, and we were like cuddling, and then I wanted to have sex. So it was like one of those things where my body was like, you know, we were up close, we were naked. He was like half staff. So then I was like, okay, yeah, I can get into this. And then like I got wet and we had sex and it was great. And I had a phenomenal time and it felt very connected. And so I think sometimes like when your libido is a little bit lower, maybe just like the physical touch can remind your body, can help you kind of get back to a space where your body's like, oh yeah, this feels good. I like this. Let's do this. And your mind's like, sweet, let's go for it. And then you do, and then it's great. So, but I just wanted to throw that kind of like little friendly reminder out there that like be kind to your libido. Okay, it's on its own wavelength. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. And it's good to like, you know, the times when it is maybe a little bit low, just not embrace it, but like lean into it, or just like honor that, and don't force anything that you don't want to do, because at the end of the day, like that's not going to help you.
My current struggle is,
what's your current struggle?
I can't remember the last time I masturbated, actually.
I've masturbated a couple times, not a lot, but a couple. I did get a new vibrator from a company that sent us some vibrators. What was it?
For a TikTok campaign that actually never ended up happening.
Yeah, but anyways, and I tried that one out and it was dope. And so I just was curious to try it and I liked it.
Well, I mean, I was going to say one of the main reasons why I'm struggling with masturbating is because I get into bed, I'm all warm and cozy, and I'm like, okay, great, I'm going to put some porn on and masturbate. But then the thought of having to get up and pee ruins
after
it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'm just like, I don't want to get up. Like, I'm in bed. Like, can I just like masturbate and not have to pee after? But I don't want to get a UTI.
We have bad kidneys. Yeah, we can't really.
So it's like, I don't want to masturbate and then have to pee and like get up when I'm already cozy. So like, I'm trying to, but like,
I don't know if I can offer a solution.
I know exactly. I'm like, I want to masturbate though. It's just like, I don't like, what do I do? Wear a diaper? Like, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. But like, still, I'm just like, I don't know.
No, I think that's a valid thing. That I literally thought about that the other day when I was masturbating. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to get up to pee. And then I was like, I don't want to get up to pee. And
it's a struggle.
But I did. I just, you know, one thing I didn't do, I didn't flush. I just closed the lid and then flushed in the morning, because I feel like the sound of flushing would have woken me up from like my little like stupor.
That I was in. Just like shuffle, psst, and then
like shuffle back in the bed. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'm not going to flush and I'm not going to like make it loud. I'm just going to pee and then go back to bed. And so I did. And that did help. But I was still cold.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm. That's really the only solution I can help offer.
My libido has also been like, meh, you know, every now. Or cat meow meow. Which, I don't know, if you're watching YouTube, here's whatever, Greywind decided to say hello. And he's sleeping in front of the laptop.
He loves to sleep on the kitchen table. So.
Yeah, guys, don't judge me, but my cat, little Greywind over here, look at his cute little face. Oh my goodness, hello, meow meow. Anyways, he loves sleeping
on the kitchen table.
He loves sleeping on the kitchen. Anyway, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because like, yeah, my libido's also, well, it like comes and goes.
So like, cause for me at least, like right now I'm about to ovulate. So
I was gonna say you're about 10 days away from ovulation, right?
No, I'm 2 days from ovulation. You're a little behind my cycle. But like normally, normally I'm just much hornier. I did notice today.
I'm 8 days away from ovulation.
I noticed today actually I was pretty horny at the gym. But I will say, so like normally I'm like significantly hornier during my follicular and my ovulation phase, and then I'm still horny going into my luteal. But lately during my luteal, I'm just like meh, like nothing. Yeah. And I use lube because like I'm just for some reason I'm just not getting like, I wouldn't say I'm not getting as wet. Once I start having sex, then I get super wet, but I'm not like a running faucet like I normally am.
I mean, your libido comes and goes.
I will say this. So, I mean, it does come and go. That's why, like, right now, I'm trying to honor it. I'm going to be like, okay, it's still only been, like, 2 months since my dog died. Like, a lot of the stuff from, this time last year is kind of, like, not coming up a little, well, kind of coming up a little bit. And, I just had a breakup, like, all these things. So, it's like, if my libido's low right now, I'm going to honor it. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not sitting here like, fuck, something's wrong with me. I need to like go have all this sex. No, I'm just being like, okay, I don't want to have sex right now, so I'm not going to have sex. And then I will say this though, if it persists for more than like 2-3 months, then I'd probably be like, maybe I'll go get my hormones checked. Or maybe I'll like, reach out to one of my sex therapist friends and see if like there's something that I can do to maybe kind of help start getting it back into like a kickstart mode, or get it back to normal. But like, I don't know. This time last year, my libido wasn't super high either. So, I don't know. Maybe for me, can kind of like the seasons affect it a little bit. I'm taking this as like an opportunity to like gather data. Let's put it that way.
What? Like via spreadsheet? Like how are you gathering? Are you noting it?
Yeah, like journaling about it.
Oh, you're journaling.
I'll probably take, I have been journaling about it, but like I said, I'll just kind of like listen to my body, see what happens over the next like 2-3 months and just kind of, try to see what I figure out.
I like that. I need to probably do the same.
But I have also been doing like a lot of like healing work. And so I don't know if like maybe that has also affected my libido. But I think, like, with my partner that I just broke up with, like, we used to have sex all the time, like 2, 3, 4 times a week. And now...
Well, and having that much sex makes you hornier.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't been having as much sex, so maybe that could be another one, too. Because my other...
different factors.
My other 2 partners, like, one of them travels a lot, so we don't always, like... but when he's home, at least, like, we do have a lot of sex. And then... the other one, it can just be kind of sporadic. So I don't know. Like, we'll see. But I think we all need that reminder, especially going into like the winter season, that like, if you're not as like open or social or horny or like, you know what I mean? Like if you're not as up and about as you normally are, like that's okay.
I'm kind of having a similar thing, but with my kink libido.
Oh, that's another one too. Ever since my doms and I we're still on a break. And honestly, at this point, I don't know if it's going to come back. But I will say this, like, I don't have the energy to, especially with my libido kind of being low, I don't have the energy to go find a new dom.
So, and that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I haven't had a dom in a while, although I did have a prospective dom, who lives in the area. And I don't know what it is, but every single time we like tried to initiate a scene and like made plans for it, I just wasn't feeling called to, like, I wasn't craving my subspace. And I don't know if it's just because, like, I've been on a healing journey, and then I'm also my dating life is very like sporadic and kind of all over the place. And there's just a lot of other things that I'm putting at the forefront, mostly myself and like the things that I want to focus on right now. I'm putting those on the front burner. So, like going into subspace and finding a dom and, finding a dom that I like and that I trust, that gets put in the back burner.
Because that takes time to find.
It takes time to find, and not that the prospective dom, not that I didn't like trust him, because like I do know him and I think he's a wonderful guy and I would love to have a scene with him eventually.
And I do think he seems like a good dom.
Yeah, no, he seems like a great dom. He's been doing it for a while, but at the same time, like I didn't feel like I was in the right headspace and energy for it.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't think you should force it, like if you're not feeling it.
Exactly.
Because then that's going to kind of like taint the experience.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like, I did, whenever we performed at the sex party in early October, when the female dom tied me up in shibari, I did go into subspace for a little while there, and that felt really nice. It was a very brief moment, but I really liked it. And, I still get to practice, like, my impact play, which I love the most, and all that good stuff. So I'm, like, okay right now without a dom and without visiting, going into my subspace.
Yeah, I've had, like, at least enough, like, topping or bottoming or, like, experiences with, like, impact or primal play to keep me, I would say, satiated. I do miss... Sated?
It's sated.
Okay, to keep me sated. I've had enough experiences to keep me sated.
Satisfied. You can say that too.
Satisfied, whatever. But I do miss power exchange. But the thing was, like, I trusted my doms so much.
Yeah, you don't trust anyone with knife play.
And it's really hard to, like, picture myself, like, and not only that, but they were pro doms. They were good doms. They were, like, I just felt so open and comfortable and safe with them. And it was so natural. It just, like, came so naturally that it's really hard. And that whole ending happened not that long ago either. So, it's still pretty fresh. I'm just not ready to find a new dom either. And I don't know. I mean, it's worth noting that, there have been a lot of endings recently or at least in the last couple of months. And perhaps that's just, to make way for new things that are coming up and to make room for other things that are going to be entering my life. So, like, that's okay. I don't have a problem letting things go. It's just sometimes, like, I recognize that sometimes letting go or moving on or breaking up or change, like, those things can affect your libido, your desire, your motivation. Don't forget Mars is in retrograde right now. So,
in Gemini.
So we're all, probably feeling that energy where we're not as motivated or we're questioning our motivations. Mars rules, like, passion, motivation, whatever. Anyways. So, yeah. I don't know.
But shoulder shrug.
Shrug, yeah. But I do
captions for those who aren't watching.
Closed captions for the people listening.
Nikki scratched her hair with a pen.
Kimmy and I both looked at each other and shoulder shrugged. But I will say
Smile
this,
and
like,
wave, boys.
Like, I do look forward to when my libido comes back. I do look forward to when I have the motivation again to go find another DS dynamic. I do look forward to, going out there and being a hoe again when I'm ready. Like, I know those things are there and waiting for me when I'm ready to meet them, if that makes sense.
I'm also super bummed that, like, the next 2 sex parties coming up, we're going to be out of town.
That's another thing. I am a little bummed about that because, like, I feel like sex parties, at least the last one we went to, I had a lot of fun and, like, and that's where I get to top. And I love that. Yeah. And I had a good time. I had a great time. Phenomenal time. Anyways, but yeah, the next Sanctum party, we're going to be out of town. And then the New Year's Eve one, for Kinky Rabbit, we have stuff going on. So we probably won't go to another sex party till, like, February.
Oh, that seems so far away.
Which seems really far away. But if you remember, this is how it happened. Oh, no, last year we went to New Year's Eve, and that was dope.
Exactly. I love the New Year's Eve
I love the New Year's Eve ones, too. I know, but we made plans.
Oh, now I'm reflecting. Remember, that's where we met our friend. She recognized us.
Oh, Haley. Yeah. Haley. I love her. Anyways, so, okay. I was going to say, perhaps we should just throw our own sex party, but...
Not yet.
We need a house first.
I will one day be throwing dope ass sex parties, but it won't be in the next few months because hopefully we'll be traveling.
We've got some travels coming up. Yeah. Anyways, so that was just my reminder: be kind to your libido. This is a good time to check in with yourself. All those things. Anyways, we did.
Although I will say one thing that I, and TikTok reminded me of this the other day. The calendar year should start in Aries
season.
Yeah.
Astrologically, if we go If we go astrologically,
the new year isn't technically until March.
Aries season, yeah.
Yeah.
And so this would be still close, or this would still be close to the end of the year. But Sag season is coming up right now. The sun is about to enter Sagittarius. Venus and Mercury are in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is very fun energy. I feel like peaks, or like I feel like little spurts of like, you know, the fun, flirty, social side of me wanting to like peek out.
I know.
So and it's
I
kind
just
of
saw 777.
It's kind of an interesting thing trying to like balance that energy, I would say.
Well, one of the things, like this year, you and I didn't go to Vegas at all. We typically go to Vegas a few times a year, and that's when we party hardy.
But Vegas was like where my ex-husband and I used to go all the time together, and so like I just have not been ready to go back since him and I have split. But I'm feeling myself get closer and closer to being ready to go back.
And we'll go and we'll have a blast.
I am starting to like feel myself be ready for it. It's just so weird to think about going to Vegas without him, because like ever since I turned 21, him and I went to Vegas
Every year. Multiple times a year.
Multiple times a year. The most we ever went was I went 10 times in 1 year. Granted, I went once or twice without him. Once with Cammie, and then another time for what was that? Did I have like
you went for like a work thing?
Yeah, I think I had a work thing or something there. Yeah, I did. I had a work thing. So I went 10 times that year. But what was I gonna say?
Wind's just so soft.
Ever since I've turned 21, him and I have always gone. And I can't remember if we mentioned this in an episode.
I forgot about that. It's not going to be the same going.
Yeah, it won't be the same. But did I mention the 11-hour? Did we talk about gambling recently? I like gambling. So that's why I like going to Vegas. Catch me at the blackjack table. I think we already mentioned this.
And craps.
Craps and blackjack. The most amount of time we ever spent at a blackjack table was 11 hours.
Yep. New Year's
Eve, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yep. Or actually, technically, it was New Year's Day. Well, no, kind of. We got to the table by what?
It was like a little bit past midnight. And then we were leaving at 11 to go back to our hotel. 11 a.m.
Yep. What a night.
Yeah. We were still in our New Year's Eve outfits while everyone else is like, there are people like running on the strip for like exercise, and I look like death.
I had met this really cute guy at a club.
What was his name?
Sam. And he, oh my God, it was so crazy. Sam and I, we were at a club. What was it? The night before that?
Yeah.
Or the night before that. Anyways. And I'm walking by this guy, and he and I make eye contact, pass each other, turn around, and immediately start making out. Maybe I did tell this.
Wait, what?
Yeah, maybe I did tell this story on the pod, but like, and that was like peak fun Cammie, like when she just finds a dude and makes it her goal. But yeah, no, that's what happened. You and Nate went to the bathroom or something. So I was just kind of like walking around in the dance area. I make eye contact with Sam. He and I pass each other, turn around, immediately start making out. And then he and I dance for the whole night afterwards. It was really fun. And then he meets up with us during New Year's Eve. The next night, I guess.
Yeah.
And he stays with us on the blackjack tables for like 11 hours.
Yeah, it was insane.
And then he walks back with us to the hotel. It was insane.
Anyways, so point of the story being, I think I'm ready to go back to Vegas. Not quite yet. Maybe a little bit after the holidays. It's always fun going during March Madness. I actually really like going to Vegas during March Madness.
And the pool clubs open back up.
Yeah, we'll definitely make a trip.
Good.
I just saw 888.
Oh, yay.
Anyway, we did have a question from a listener that came into our email. Where is it?
Let me pull it up.
So let's go ahead and answer that.
Actually, I don't know how I'm going to find it. But basically,
just look up Squarespace. I thought that one's funny. Someone was like, I heard where you guys were talking about the water. He was like, what? He was like, I'm sorry to be upfront, but spell Evian backwards. Naive. Who the fuck named water Evian, which is naive backwards? Oh, wait, I see it. Come on, go down.
Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Which, by the way,
what?
We really got to get away from spelling shit backwards and naming it and naming things or people those names. Like,
yeah.
What was the Nevaeh?
Heaven
spelled backwards,
or Erewhon? Nowhere.
Erewhon is not nowhere. Spell Erewhon. The WH era one.
No. Wait.
Where?
No, well, it is nowhere. Era one. It's nowhere spelled backwards. Anyways, okay, let me read this. Hey ladies, wanted to say thank you first. I've been poly for 3 years and still navigating how to make this lifestyle work ethically. You and your friends speaking out on your experiences really help. I'm happy you're here. Thank you. We're happy to be here. We're happy you're here. Okay, so for the question, what do you do about bruises and marks and seeing multiple partners, jealousy, etc.? My primary boyfriend is supportive but tends to get more jealous. It's been an intense 3 years of practicing non-monogamy, but we also believe it's brought us closer. The sex is amazing and very intimate. He's new to rigging, and I love being his rope bunny.
Oh, I love that.
I have a second boyfriend who is a dom. Oh, so she's got 2 doms. Way to go, girl. Okay. We don't have scenes as much. Wait. I have a second boyfriend who is a dom. We don't have scenes as much as we just have rough sex. Got it. Okay. He's rough and I don't mind it. Honestly, I love it. But we get too into it, and as of last night, this will be the 3rd time I have a pretty gnarly mark.
Kind of want to see pics.
Yeah, right? Since I know y'all want to know, he was... Thank you. I'm so glad she knew. Okay, since I know y'all want to know, he was slapping my left tit with his right arm while I was riding on top of him. I'm white, and although I try to get in the sun naked as much as I can, that skin is the most tender and whitest. Fair. My boobs are pretty white.
It do be white.
It do be white on the boobies. It do be white on the boobies. Okay.
Yep.
When it started to sting a little too much, I stopped him, thinking the marks wouldn't be bad. I was very wrong. The dark purple marks look the same as when I had a biopsy for a benign knot found in my breast, if that helps the visual. Thank God it was benign. I just want to stop and say that. I'm so glad you're okay. Also, yeah.
That
makes my boobs hurt. We're supposed to have a no marks rule, and I know that needs to be discussed further, because how am I supposed to explore, find what I like, get pleasure if I have to be so fucking cautious all the time? It's annoying. I have said that to my primary partner already, but it wasn't discussed in detail. So yeah, I'll take any comments, suggestions, advice, remedies. Maybe I just need to hear from someone who at least understands the struggle. I don't have a lot of friends, not complaining, and the ones I do have are definitely not in the kink community. Thank you again. She's a Scorpio. She'll be 30. Okay, so happy belated birthday, babe.
Also,
what?
We're your friends.
We are your friends, yeah. We're here.
Your kink friends.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. Here's the thing. I do understand this struggle somewhat. My ex-husband wasn't always the biggest fan of huge marks on me. I think he tolerated them for the most part, but he wasn't always a huge fan, because it did sometimes bring up jealousy a little bit more for him. And just because he wasn't like super kinky or super like rough, he was very much more like sensual. And I think that like seeing the marks made him think that like, I don't know, I think a lot of guys associate like marks and pain with like, you know, bad things, which as you should. You shouldn't hit a woman or leave marks or bruises or anything unless she consents to it. So anyways, but a no marks rule is where I do have an issue, because I do feel like that is restricting your autonomy. Then like, you know, say you're having sex with your second boyfriend and he's being super rough. Now you're getting mentally taken out of the situation, because then you're sitting there like, oh fuck, I don't want my primary boyfriend to see all these marks, so I need to tell him to slow down, like whatever. Like you can't fully give into the moment and to the experience with this person, because you're thinking about your other partner and you're trying to keep track of a rule that you guys have set up for whatever reason. I do think you need to have some further discussions about it. I think you need to you said, hold on, let me see. I have said that to my primary already, but it wasn't discussed in detail. So it's time to discuss it in detail. I would sit down and be like, hey, this is something that I really would like to discuss in detail. I have some concerns. I have some thoughts. Can we sit down? No distractions. So phones away, TV off, anything that's distracting, put it away, computer closed, whatever. Sit down and have an honest discussion together about it and see if you can find common ground. because I do feel like that's restricting your autonomy. That's, for him, you know, I get it. We all face jealousy, and I get it. Like, it's, you know, sometimes, yeah, things like that can trigger feelings. And I'm not saying that his feelings aren't valid in being in feeling jealousy regarding this. However, I do feel like he probably has to do a little bit of inner work and see where he can meet you in the middle, rather than just expecting you to abide by his no marks rule. Cami, any thoughts?
I mean, yeah, you do have to also, you know, acknowledge his feelings in it, and, you know, the fact that it makes him feel uncomfortable. I understand that side of it. I understand, you know, especially when you have a primary partner. I don't know if y'all live together, but you coming home with bruises might not be the most, you know, it might not be what he wants. But at the same time, like Nikki said, there should be that meet in the middle point, especially because if you like rough sex, and let's say your primary partner is not giving it to you the way you want, so you get it from another partner, and, you know,
which is totally fine.
Which is fine. And, you know, there's that compromise in that. Then, yeah, just have a discussion. Be like, hey, babe, look, I really understand where you're coming from. I'd love you to know that you know, your feelings are valid, and I recognize your concerns. I would also like to say, you know, hopefully you're looking at this from my point of view as well, in the sense that I do like this rough play. I do like having these marks. I enjoy that time with that partner, you know, and that space we create for me to get those marks in a safe manner, in a pleasurable manner. And I would like to know, you know, how we can come to an agreement in which you're okay with that too. So.
And I understand, like, you might be sitting there wondering, or like, okay, well, what are some examples of like what meeting in the middle could look like? For example, so, okay, maybe, I don't know if y'all lived, hold on, did she say if they lived together?
I can't remember. I mean, one of the ways you could do it is, you know, like, let's say there is just one, he gives you just one zone and you never get marks there. You could do that, like,
so you can be like, okay, you know, it's fine if he marks your shoulders or your boob or whatever, but like no neck or ass bruises or marks, something like that. So like maybe some zones are okay, maybe the ones that you can like cover up pretty well.
And then you can tell your other partner that, like, hey, you know, I had a discussion with my primary. He's cool with bruises. He just doesn't want to see it in this area.
Yeah. And then that way, like, he can go to town on the other areas, but avoid, you know, the other areas. I don't know. This is just such a tough one because, like, okay, so for example, you know, say the boobs are fine and then he covers your boobs and bruises, and like that's still hard for your boyfriend to look at whenever you guys are having sex.
Do
okay.
doggy.
Yeah, do doggy, put a bra on, cover it with your hair. Like, there are some options there. However, like, it's still, I can understand like how it's annoying that you feel like you have to cover up. I was mentioning recently like how, you know, my partner covered me in bruises, and then I remember, you know, my other partner came back home and we were having sex in the dark, so he never saw them, I don't think. But I remember wondering, I'm like, well, shit, I don't know what he's going to say about all these marks because they're pretty intense. Cammy saw them, like they were, like my entire shoulder and armpit area was just like absolutely covered. So I remember wondering, I'm like, what if he doesn't like this? But I remember walking into it thinking like, okay, if my partner has a problem with this, then, you know, he needs to understand we don't have any current rules around marks. A, B, it is my body, it is my autonomy, and I'm not going to restrict what I do with another partner for the sake of another partner in thinking like, oh, they may not like this. You know, obviously, like I'll respect boundaries and stay within boundaries, but like if it's I'm not going to assume a boundary of something we haven't discussed. Maybe I should discuss that with him. But yeah, it's still a lot of work on your part to like kind of make sure that, you know, you toe the line as best as you can. But you know, another thing too, you know, maybe you guys go to therapy about it. Dig deep.
And it doesn't even have to be like a full on, like, you know, you go to therapy for the rest of your life. Maybe you just go to therapy for this one thing.
Yeah. And just do like a couple sessions, 2, 3, 4 sessions, whatever. See if like the therapist can give you guys a couple tools to like navigate the conversations a little further and make sure your conversations aren't getting stuck in any cycles, and maybe give you some space to talk about it with like a third party that's able to really kind of navigate the conversation a little bit and see how that goes.
And then also, I mean, another thing is you said he's new to rigging and y'all enjoy rope play. Rope play can also leave bruises.
I know. So it's like he's got, I was going to bring that point up too. Like he's got to think that like, hey, you know, he's going to leave marks on you. Is your other partner being like, hey, I don't want to see those marks? You know, it's kind of a two-way street in that regard.
Maybe, I don't know, find a way to make it fun for both of them.
Yeah, it is a tough situation, but yeah, see if maybe you could like leave some zones that are like complete free reign, where your other partner can go absolute ham. See if there's, you know, some ways that you guys can start approaching those conversations a little bit differently, so a little bit more intention behind the conversations. Get a therapist involved if you need to, or, you know, like it doesn't have to
affirm his feelings.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a therapist either. Like you can, you know, find like a sex coach or a kink coach. You know, there are a lot of those creators out there. For example, you know, Nicoletta Heidegger from Sluts and Scholars, she's a sex coach, and also does like kink coach or sex and kink coaching kind of thing. You know, Nadej with Pleasure Science. So those are the ones that I know, just because those are the ones from within my community and network of people, but there are a ton out there. So see if you can find some that maybe you really connect with, and book like a coaching session if you don't want to do like a full like therapy, you know, find the whole process of a therapist, all of that. What else? I'm trying to think if there's some other things. Yeah, you can cover up bruises, you know, so like for example, like I was saying, you know, maybe keep your bra on or like whatever, even though it's kind of annoying, or makeup, those kind of things. You can do that to kind of,
and dig deep with his with where he's feeling jealousy, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, when you two have that conversation, be like, okay, let's tackle it. You're feeling jealous. What's the first reason? Why? Can you identify it?
Does it make him feel like
maybe he just needs to hear, you know,
just okay. So, you know, in terms of like digging deep into the jealousy, does he feel like, you know, the other guy leaving marks is like kind of like, because you know how men get territorial, like is it you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like is it one of those things? Is it like, you know, now he's seeing, because, you know, even if you're non-monogamous, like you don't have to see your partner have sex with other people, so but like maybe leaving the marks makes it a little bit more real for them, or makes it see them and they're like, you know, it feels they get kind of territorial over it. You know, is it out of, you know, like you said, maybe he's more sensual or whatever, he doesn't like the rough stuff, and then here you are enjoying it with someone else. Does that make him self-conscious just because he feels like he can't meet that need? Like what is does it make him feel less than? Does it make him feel insecure? Does it make him feel, but when I say less than, like less of a man because like someone else is like having sex with your girl, you know, like it probably comes down to a lot of those like, you know, mononormative or very like kind of patriarchal things that are ingrained into men, because they're taught growing up that, you know, they're supposed to acquire one woman and she is going to be his and it is her property, or no, it is she is his property. Like these are the things that are ingrained into men. So like, you know, a lot of times with these kind of things, it takes diving into that and dismantling all of those thought process, all of those things that have been ingrained into them, and then moving on from there.
Yep.
Which is hard work to do, and it takes time. Like it might take multiple conversations for you guys to get to a point where you can work through this. Might take multiple sessions with a sex coach, might take multiple sessions with a therapist, to get to a point where you guys can really like make some headway on shifting the problem here, the mindset, the root cause of it all. And
it's like
and
eating cereal. You gotta have more than one cup to get to the bottom of the bag. Nikki's shaking her head. No, okay.
I'm like, I get it, but I don't get it. Anyways, I hope that advice is helpful. Again, happy belated birthday. Thank you for sharing with us. I love these kind of things because, like, it always gives me an opportunity to, like, you know, like, yeah, I've faced this too. And so, like, it's always nice to hear that, like, you know, kind of people go through the same experiences. And like Cammie said, we'll be your friends. Anytime you got something, write it in, email us or DM us, whatever. Anyways. So, yeah, I hope that helps. And your partner's feelings are valid, but I do think this is something that he needs to dive deeper into and dig into and kind of work through rather than just be like a no marks rule. Don't come home with any marks. That's it. Because then he's not really facing it. He's not really growing from it, and he's not overcoming the jealousy tied to it.
Very well said. I stand by my cereal joke.
Yeah,
cereal analogy.
I get it.
Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Oh, I do want to tell one final little story before we finish out here. Prior to recording, I said something funny while Cammie was
trying to take a sip of water.
So she proceeded to spit the water all over my pant leg and the chair and the floor below us. I'm not a huge fan of spitting. I'm really not. This was unsolicited, unconsented.
Nicole, you said it as I was taking a sip, and it was funny, and it just went everywhere.
All I'm saying is I didn't consent to it. I know. It was a reaction, whatever. All I'm saying, I don't like spitting.
Involuntary.
I
couldn't hold it in.
Sorry, I'm so funny.
I think I'm the funnier one.
Well, actually, I'll give you that. I think you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, out of the two of us, definitely. Anyways, so we hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. We hope you guys enjoy plenty of
whatever you eat
during the holidays. I know it's Turkey Day, but like
it's pie 30 for me.
For Cammie and I, this is a pie holiday. We don't eat turkey. We eat salmon usually, or fish. We're pescatarian. I am laughing that
fish.
We're fish. we eat fish. I will say this, that we called our grandma earlier in Argentina because we want to go visit our family in Argentina at the beginning of the year. And she was like, you better forget that little vegetarian diet you're on. I'm going to cook you all the beef. And I'm like, Grandma, like, we're not vegetarian. We're pescatarian. But I will absolutely cheat and have her cooking.
I was going to say, for Juani, I'll do anything.
The woman's not going to be around forever. She's a phenomenal cook, and anything she cooks, I will eat it.
I agree.
So unless it's something really weird, then I'm like, man. But even then, it probably slaps. Like
the one time I did tell her though. I did tell my grandma. It's so weird calling her grandma. We never call her grandma. We call her Juani. We call her by her first name. I did tell Juani at the beginning of my pescatarian journey a few years ago that when I do go visit Argentina, I will make the exception of eating her cooking just because it is very good. And no one cooks in Argentine milanesa quite like Juani. So that's the one time I'll give it up. But anyway, so yeah, for the holidays, we'll be enjoying salmon and a lot of pie, a lot of mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole. Oh, the food.
I'm stoked. Anyways, so we hope you guys enjoy the holidays too. This time with your family, friends, whoever you're choosing to spend
family.
Whoever you're choosing to spend it with, or if you're solo.
If you're having a little solo time, come hang out with us,
Listen to this episode.
We're here for you.
Send us DM on Instagram.
Yeah, we love you.
We're here for you.
We're here to support you.
Yeah. So, Cammie and I spent Christmas, just her and I, last year.
Yep.
We are privileged. We have each other. Very thankful for that. And then I ended up taking
one unit.
us and 2 friends to a Lakers game. This year we'll actually also be home for Christmas, like home here in LA. I don't know what we'll do. We'll see.
Yeah, unfortunately there won't be a Lakers game because it'll be away.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I remember last year, like during the whole
hockey game.
I like hockey.
I like hockey too.
I don't like follow sports like on the TV, but I do love going to a sporting event. I remember last holiday season, I went to more sex parties in the span of, I went to more basketball games in the span of 2 months than I did sex parties. And I thought that was pretty revolutionary for me. So I went to a Lakers game, I went to a Clippers game, and then I went to a Phoenix Suns game.
Okay, they have one.
And a Dallas Mavericks game.
Well, they have one the Thursday before or 2 days after, but not on the day.
Okay, but who are they playing?
Calgary.
Like, Flames. I want like a good game. I don't know who's good this year. Ooh, Vegas Golden Knights against the Los Angeles Kings. Calgary Flames. We could go see some Canadians play. I'd be down to do that. Are they hot?
How do you know that's
Calgary is a city in Canada? That's how I know that's...
Okay, I'm glad one of us knew that. Because I'm over here, like, thinking, like, the Calgarys and, like, you know, da-da, da-da. Okay, 2.
Anyway, so maybe we'll do that.
So, yeah. Oh, wow, tickets are cheap.
How much?
Oh, my God.
We could basically be... What is that? Not courtside.
Ice side?
Ice side for less than $150. I'd be down.
Let's do it.
Wait, fuck it. Let's just get like a fucking what do you call it?
The box.
The box seats, yeah. So we can get food. I don't see any box seats. Anyways, guys. We love y'all.
Happy holidays.
We only have a couple episodes left before we take our seasonal break. So enjoy us while we are here.
Yes, of course, we'll still be on the socials.
Oh, and we are going to still drop a couple episodes on our break, but they're going to be like episodes from other podcasts that we love, that we hope you guys check out.
Or we'll also be dropping episodes of Broke Girl Therapy that we're in.
Yeah. But one of them will be the Astro Daddy podcast. So if you haven't checked out Danny, who we have done multiple episodes with, he is starting his Astro Daddy, or he has already started his Astro Daddy podcast, edited by yours truly,
produced by yours truly.
Yep. So that podcast is basically anywhere you find podcasts. So Apple, Spotify,
yeah, I think
YouTube.
I've got him on all the platforms.
He's got it on YouTube. He's got Instagram. He's got TikTok. Anyways, so we'll be putting that on our feed. And then, of course, we'll be back in January after that. So, yeah.
Lots of
yay
things coming up.
Woo. All right. Well, go eat.
Yeah. Have fun.
Wear condoms. If you have a little, Thanksgiving
oh my God, if you have like a little holiday orgy
or like a little Thanksgiving romp, wear condoms.
Yes.
I actually last year I had sex on Thanksgiving night with Avocado Farmer. It was phenomenal. God, I miss him. He's in a relationship now. So guys, let's all send some positive energy to him. I know he's been wanting to find a partner and start building a family with them. So I hope that is what he is doing out there. I hope him and his girlfriend are doing well. I know this because I invited him to a sex party and then he was like, thank you for thinking of me. But unfortunately, I'm in a relationship. And I was like, so sorry to, impede. Because I'm sure if his girlfriend saw it, she'd be like, excuse me, what? But I hope she knows, like, it's no.
It's Gucci.
It's all Gucci, yeah. Anyways, so I hope it's going well for him, and but I do have some fond memories of having sex with him after Thanksgiving dinner last year.
What the fuck did I do during Thanksgiving last year?
We also had sex on Christmas.
You and the Avocado Farmer?
Yeah, it was like right around Christmas we had sex. Was it a Christmas night? I'll have to go back and look if it was exactly Christmas night. All I know is we had sex during a lot of the holidays.
What was I doing?
I don't know. Probably home, because that would have been late.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways,
happy Pie
Day.
Wear condoms.
Wear condoms.
We love you. Bye. And